We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 88.1 FM, KKJZ HD3, Long Beach, Los Angeles.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and now, our World Broadcasting Tag Team Champions of the World and our Cruiserweight Champion.
I'm Ethan.
I'm James.
I'm Rob.
And this is episode 197 of Beyond the Ropes. We are BTR Pro Wrestling Talk. Of course, you can find us over on Twitter at RealBTR Radio, as well as Facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes. You can find me individually on Twitter at EthanM85. You can follow James at
JHW Reporter.
And Rob at
Rob Flores Media. And don't forget the R2 DM for Ethan.
Failed once again to capture that 24/7 title this week. But also go find us on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your lovely podcasts.
Mm-hmm. And make sure you leave a comment,
subscribe,
share
it with your friends.
Tell me how great I am. Your friends, their friends, your family members, any wrestlers you might be related to or know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone.
Send them to us. You
send them to us. You can send the podcast to us. Mm-hmm. Send us your thoughts, your feedbacks, your comments, your complaints. Mm-hmm. Send the complaints to Ethan, but send everything else to me.
Send them to me. I'll just block you. But it's all right. Before we move forward, of course, it is time for the weekly acknowledgement of our tribal chief, the head of the table.
Yes. Norman Smiley.
Who? The guy from WCW?
Yes, the Big Wiggle.
Oh Lord.
That used to be the move back in the day.
Uh-huh.
You never did the Big Wiggle?
I don't remember anything from WCW eras. I was like 4.
I'm making a note to myself to send you.
You're old, sir.
A YouTube video.
I know who Norman Smiley is, but
the Big Wiggle.
I'm aware. I think I've seen the Big Wiggle.
No, I'm making you watch. You're gonna watch the video.
I will watch them when you watch all my Twitter DMs that I
watch them.
You don't watch them all.
Most of them. No, I just don't comment on some of them.
That's amazing.
Because some of them is just like Mandy Rose or Roman Reigns, and I'm just like,
look at that. Just
I'm
terrific.
Like, okay, I see it, but
hey, let's acknowledge someone else today.
What's his name?
Stay with me, James.
I forgot the name.
Johnny Depp. Let's acknowledge him.
Oh. Some people say he's crazy too, though.
A little bit. That's okay.
I wasn't following the case, so I don't know. But I know
innocent.
No one was going for Amber Heard, and we'll leave it there.
She's crazy.
You know what? So
anyway, let's acknowledge someone else.
Wait. This is my moment. Wait. Well, it's relevant. It's relevant to wrestling. I was actually talking about this the other day, and I kind of wish they had Celebrity Deathmatch still, because I think this would have made for a great Celebrity Deathmatch match.
That would have been terrible. I guess, yeah.
I mean, why not?
Oh my God. Anyways, it's a great day in my household. Anyways.
For what?
Just because it is, you know.
Okay.
There's justice served. Speaking of justice, the shields of justice right here, Roman Reigns. Seth freaking Rollins. Great week.
Can you just acknowledge them and get it over with?
Let's see. Who else? Who else we acknowledge? Mandy Rose.
I know who you can acknowledge. And,
stay with me, James.
Mandy Rose.
MJF. I was transitioning there.
I was about to transition into.
I was trying. You didn't go with it.
If you would have given me a second, sir. I was gonna say you can acknowledge Adam Cole,
Bay,
for winning the Owen Hart tournament along with old girl Britt PMD PhD Baker. Which one is
PMS Baker?
Which one is it?
DMD.
DMD. What does that mean? Is she a dentist or no?
Dentist, medical dentist. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
I don't know what that means.
Britt Baker, not Britt Baker. Wait,
Braun Breaker.
Britt Baker. I don't watch AEW now. It's Britt Baker. I mean, you know these people. This
Britt
is your
Baker.
Britt Baker and Adam Cole are together. They're a couple.
Oh, they were cute.
They're a
So they
thing.
were matching their gear. They were wearing pink and black. I know this is a big deal for you because you're a big heart.
So
family fan.
some people said that was kind of obvious that they were both going to win because they only had one
was.
trophy.
Very
Is
obvious.
that true? Even though it was Samoa Joe?
Yeah, it's very obvious because they were both in the tournament. And
Because why?
they were both in the tournament. Well, it kind of made sense.
Well, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
I kind of thought maybe Samoa Joe. See, that's the thing. Look, Samoa Joe can never win anything.
No, they have him losing, I think, all the time or looking
But I'm
bad
just
all the time.
can't win a title.
He's
won titles
championship right now.
of ROH though.
I know it doesn't mean anything.
But I'm talking about just like when it comes to a big match or a big prize, like they never.
He's not that guy.
It's not that he's not that. I just think he doesn't need it. Like he's like everyone's gonna be
doesn't.
behind him. He's a bad dude. Like you know what I mean. So I get it. But anyways, so congrats to them.
Were you happy? Were you happy to see them get those trophies or the titles? They also got some titles.
I don't watch Adam Cole. Yeah, no. Britt actually brought her title out for the
Martha
show.
Presented it to them, or
Mhm.
the kids, the family presented.
And then so they were out there on Thursday. On Friday, no, what's today? Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday. Sorry.
So for Dynamite, I know Britt had her title out there. I think Adam Cole did too. He was commentary for a 10-man tag match that featured
featured everyone you can think of.
Undisputed Elite.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And then a Christian, Matt Hardy, and whoever. Lucha. Jeff's out, but Lucha.
We gotta talk about that. We'll talk about that.
Luchasaurus or who.
Jurassic
whatever
Express.
they are. Jurassic Express, yeah. And then but
big AEW fans here, in case you didn't know.
No, but it was interesting. I was watching it though. There was a lot like going on that I watched it like I wanted to actually watch it. Like it was cool. Matt Hardy was was wearing his outfit from SmackDown 1 on PlayStation in 2000. He had that red velvet shirt with the black pants. And then he was teaming up with Christian. They did some tag team moves together. I thought was kind of interesting. And then also, why are the Young Bucks just always have to be in a stable or something? Like always. Why can they just never be on their own?
I don't know. You'd have to ask them that.
You know what?
James, you're a journalist. Come on now. Ask him.
If I had the chance, I actually would. I would ask him that.
I hope you would.
Because it's kind of boring.
They don't have anything else going for them. They really don't.
Mm-mm.
All their matches are the same.
Are they overrated?
Yes. Yeah, yes, they are.
Okay.
I think they are.
So anyways,
so I think putting them in the stable is the best bet for them. Anyways,
so that was a little interesting. Those were just some things that stood out. Your boy Kyle O'Reilly was in the match.
Of course.
I feel like he shouldn't have went. I was watching it. Matt Hardy was hitting everybody's head on all 3 turnbuckles and saying delete. And then I saw him doing it to O'Reilly, and he was just like beating his head on the turnbuckles. And I'm like, damn, he left for this. And I'm just kind of like,
I don't know. He just
kind of falls back under Adam Cole.
I agree.
And he's just right there with that other Bobby Fish dude. And wasn't Bobby Fish the one who was away in the movies and stuff? Whatever movie that was.
I think it was I think it was a gimmick.
He was hurt.
It was a gimmick. But he ended up getting released.
I know he got released, but like, was he ever really in anything?
I don't believe so. I think it was a gimmick thing.
Well, regardless,
I miss him. Don't remind me of those days. I miss those days.
Anyways, so I just thought that stuff was interesting. Those are just some things that stood out to me. Do you want to get into the surprise returns, whether or not they were surprises, or do you want to get into
return? I don't even know there's a return.
There were 2 returns, or not returns, but 2 debuts. Sorry. We can go into that, or we can go to MJF. We can go to CM Punk. What direction do you want to go?
I think MJF's the biggest story of the weekend, truthfully.
Well, how much time do we have? We have 9 minutes. Do we want to save? I say we save MJF for the second segment.
Sure.
I don't know why I even let you decide. I'll decide for you. We're gonna talk just real quick about two people who made their debut. They were actually kind of involved here in the same storyline. It seems.
Okay, I see. I know what you're trying.
One was Malcolm Bibbins, who you
Stokely.
know more about than I. Yeah, I don't know what they're naming him. Stokely Hathaway. I thought that was a decent name. He kind of looks like Clarence Mason in a way. Do you know who that is?
Sounds familiar.
He was the manager for Crush, black dude back in
okay.
In Nation of Domination. Anyway, so yeah, Bibbins is now with Jade Cargill. And she's a tall glass of water too, by the way, because on Dynamite I was watching, and Athena, who's the other one who made her debut on their pay-per-view, not a premium live event, but a pay-per-view. Pay-per-view, yes. And so Athena makes a run in, or she does something anyway. She makes her debut.
Formerly Ember Moon.
Supposedly WWE signed her, was trying to give her 5 times the amount of money, but she didn't want it because of the toxic atmosphere or whatever. Anyways, so Athena, formerly known as Ember Moon, also made her debut. Looks like she's going to be lined up here for a title match at some point with Jade. But they had very WCW style, and they've been doing this for a while, but they have Tony Giovanni at the ring or at the entrance ramp. I guess me and Gino just kind of do it, but they had Tony Schiavone out there, and they had Athena come out and was talking, and Jade cuts her off. I've heard Jade's name before, but I did not realize how tall she was, or maybe just how small Athena is, because Athena, I guess Jade's on this streak of maybe 300 days or whatever the case is, or maybe she's unbeaten. I don't know if she's won 300 matches. Doesn't seem realistic, but she's 300 something, I think is what it said. Anyway, she has some sort of
days,
she has some streak going on, and Athena claims she's gonna be the one to break it. And I'm like, okay, you got me. We'll see where this goes, right? And then Jade comes out, and they kind of size each other up, and Jade's like towering over her. So the minute I saw that, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I mean, height's not everything, but
but Jade herself is not the best worker.
Is she not? I kind of figured maybe she's not, but she says she was the best. Bibbins
says that.
Bibbins made her all out to be like she was a queen. Called her a queen.
They're trying to make her that way, but a good year at the Performance Center would help.
Did she ever go through there?
Everyone says no. So I mean,
where do they find her? Do you know her background or anything about her? Or?
I don't remember.
She just kind of popped up on it. She looks like she's very like toned. There's some definition in the arms and stuff. She's probably a bodybuilder or something. But I just thought it was a pretty interesting segment having both of them debut there. It was funny because Bibbins, I'm just gonna keep calling him Bibbins, but Bibbins was telling Athena, like, how dare you interrupt our match? Your first day on the job too. And Athena looks at him like, it was your first day on the job too, and you got yourself in the mess too. So it was some pretty interesting little nuggets in there. I thought it was kind of interesting. Again, this is really the first time I sat down and wanted to watch AEW. But do you have any thoughts on the direction of Ember Moon, her leaving? Maybe, I mean, she kind of wasn't doing a whole lot in WWE for the longest. She was probably appearing more on the YouTube up, down stuff more than anything else. But any thoughts on her kind of coming in and being elite now?
We'll see how long this lasts. Usually, when someone shows up after they're done with their initial program, kind of get put to the back burner. So we'll see.
I mean, she wouldn't be the first one.
She probably won't be the last one either. Maybe Bivens is in a better spot just because he's kind of a manager, and even Jade said herself, one of the best talkers. So I mean, there's gonna be room for him, even though like I feel like AEW is super manager heavy. There were some of these promos for guys. I think like Scorpio Sky was out there with had some manager. I'm like, I don't even know who this is. Like it's people I don't, and which could be a good thing. I'm like, I just don't know. Why does everyone have a manager or a mentor, or like, which is kind of cool, but at the same time, it's like it's a lot. It's a lot.
Very few people kind of come out on their own. anymore.
Exactly. That's kind of an issue there, but they keep doing it. CM Punk's the new AEW World Champion.
He's the new world champion. We have 4 minutes? Do you want to talk about it in 4 minutes, or do you want to wait? I think again, maybe we should wait for that.
You want to wait on it? What do we have on it? I don't have much. I know he botched a couple times tonight.
We'll find some stuff to talk about with it, but just real quick, we are recording this on Wednesday, actually June 1st, and
Happy New Month.
Happy New Month. And interesting, just note there that this show that they did was recorded or was aired from the Forum in LA, Inglewood. And yeah, where the Lakers used to play and all that stuff. But yeah, John Moxley, I guess he said at the end of the show, whether it was on or off camera, that there was 15,000 there at the Forum. A lot of people thought the arena looked pretty nice, and they had a nice little pop for CM Punk included. The fans really came out for the show at the Forum, and CM Punk actually was on the news, did a news segment. They came on to promote the show, and he's fresh off the title win and whatnot. And he kind of said, hey, anytime you kind of get into a new market for, with which AEW is doing, coming to LA for the first time, the fans are going to be riled up, and it's going to be a good time. They're going to be loud. And I would say that they lived up to that. Like CM Punk kind of called it, and, he's been around a while. He knows how it goes, but I think the AEW fans really showed out. And I think they set the tone. And I think it's really kind of gave a green light for what we're going to be getting with AEW coming to LA, I think a little bit more often now that they've kind of gotten the response that they did. This will have already passed way before, but by the time this airs, it will have already happened. I mean, but they're supposed to be headed out to Ontario out here near me. And they're supposed to be, I guess, doing whatever it's on Friday, I believe. So that's probably their other show.
It's Rampage.
Yeah. So Rampage. I won't be going. Rob was asking me if I was going. The one thing I would say about that real quick before I go to break is I feel like there was no buildup to it. Like there was no announcement. Like I barely found out about it, but maybe I'm not really watching AEW on the regular, so maybe I'm missing out on it. But there wasn't a whole lot of like, hey, they're coming to Ontario. But then again, who all is really advertising, hey, they're coming to Ontario. So You can talk now.
When we return, we'll talk MJF. There was apparently a wrestler that was arrested this past weekend. We'll talk more about that. And we'll talk about all that and much more. No, not Usos.
Not an Uso. Come on now.
Have some. That's a bloodline. Don't disrespect us. Like
Ethan wouldn't talk about it if it was an Uso. He'd pretend it didn't happen.
Anyways.
The accusations. Jesus.
Yeah, we'll be right back on episode 197 of Beyond
Robert.
We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 80.1 FM, KKJZ, HD3, Long Beach, Los Angeles. Welcome back to episode 197 of Beyond the Ropes. I am your host, Ethan, joined alongside the analyst, James Williams, and producer, Rob Flores. You can go follow us over on Twitter at RealBTR Radio, as well as YouTube. Just search up Beyond the Ropes, and you'll see our beautiful faces. Let's talk about it, James. MJF. Talk of the weekend, huh?
Yeah, it would appear to be that way. And actually, right before or during the break, I guess you can say, I was reading some of the comments and stuff because he dropped more or less a pipe bomb like segment with his words after the show. So I guess my understanding is obviously.
Well, let's go back to Friday.
Go ahead.
You heard about Friday, right?
There were some rumblings of something on Friday where he almost was going to take his ball and go home, or take his ball and go home.
We'll go back up to Friday, which was the
Rampage.
It was the Rampage, or was it Friday or Saturday? It was one of those days.
I guess Friday would make sense. I thought it might have been out over the weekend too, but I don't know. The
pay-per-view was on Sunday, so I think it might have been the day before.
I think it was Rampage.
Probably, but there was a fan meet and greet for the double event. Yeah. Okay. So apparently he was scheduled for an autograph signing. Fans, of course, paid money to specifically meet him, and he had no-showed the event. there was people saying he was at a casino gambling or something. And then there were other reports from various individuals stating that he had purchased his own plane ticket and was going to go home due to frustration, basically not getting the money he felt he's deserved, being underpaid compared to various new talents that have been coming over the last year or two. I believe he's still under the same contract he was when he started.
Yeah, and he said today on Thursday or Wednesday, sorry, that he didn't want to wait till 2024.
Yeah, so they were pretty lengthy contracts. It was like a 5-year deal, considering AEW was 2019.
Yeah.
So very lengthy deal that he signed. And so there were reports that he was going to fly out. Go ahead.
And with the, the notion everyone saying, "Oh, best heel in all of wrestling," and and a lot of it deservedly so, and he's always kind of in his heel role. So, I'm not saying that got to his head, but the point I'm making is like, it's kind of dessert. Maybe he is underpaid, and maybe he's not wrong with his gripe.
No, yeah, we'll get more into that right now. So it was a mixed reaction. People were saying, yeah, as you mentioned, like best heel in the business. So that's something a heel would do. And then other people were calling him very unprofessional because, people paid to see him, meet him, didn't get that opportunity. There was also speculation stating that he didn't show up until 1 hour before, or like right before his match,
for the pay-per-view match
against Wardlow.
Supposedly he showed up just in time for the match. Like he just,
and then he left.
Left right after.
I believe it was a squash match.
It was like a super squash. Yeah.
Yeah. So he lost.
And a lot of the wrestlers respected him for that. I know Bully Ray was among them who said, well, that's how you do business, or, you did whatever the beef was, or the rumors of him maybe even showing the moment. And a lot of people were kind of discussed at the fact that he may not show up, that being MJF, because this is supposed to be Wardlow's moment. Wardlow had kind of been working with MJF or as his bodyguard of some sort for the longest. And it was kind of that Shawn Michaels Diesel storyline in a way, but it's kind of like, now's the time for Wardlow to have his moment. Just how you kind of elevate someone else. And it would be very bad on MJF not to kind of follow through with that. So, regardless of whether this is shoot or work or whatever, he did show up to the pay-per-view and did do business. Obviously, this is one of those situations where it's like, yeah, let's just do it. Let's get it over with, and we can go from wherever we're going to go. So it was a squash match, but hey, Wardlow had a squash match against somebody on Dynamite. So that's kind of where the mode they're in. So maybe it kind of fits in with what they want to do with Wardlow anyways. But yeah, did they not have MJF on a stretch? Didn't they not stretcher him out or something?
They did. And then
and I don't know if he talked to the media, right? Because a lot of people talk to the media and stuff. No. I don't know if he did, but I think Denise from Fightful was saying that whether she got a comment from him or something, there was she knew somehow I think I saw her tweet that he had arrived right before the match and left right after the match.
So when the doctor put the oxygen mask over?
Yes.
It was over his eye.
It was backwards, right? I saw that. And I was like, yeah, because it was like up here and it's supposed to be like right here. And I don't know if I tweeted it out or maybe did I share with you, but I saw that too. And I was like, did they mean to do that? Is that like part of the because I think the guy who put it on too, it said like security guard or something. Like I don't think it was
the actual doctor.
I don't think so.
I think it was.
I think the shirt
is Dr. Sampson. That's his name.
I thought the shirt said maybe. I thought it was a guy like it said security or something. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think so. I think it's an actual guy.
If it is, well, I mean, if anything, he knows. Well, I don't know.
That's not okay.
That's not a good look. But for whatever it was, if they really had to do business, then at least they did it, and everyone got over the way they got over.
There was rumored to be a meeting at some point, but in the last few days, that meeting may have changed the way things have gone. considering
had to have,
tonight there was a promoted MJF promo.
It was promoted. Okay.
It was promoted.
People are
Nah.
talking about the lack of promotion now after the fact that they have not put the promo on Twitter.
They didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Is this? I mean, so you saw the promo.
I saw some. I caught most of it because it was. So here, let me just. Sorry, this is why I tuned into AEW tonight.
Mhm.
Was I was aware of some of the MJF stuff, and they said MJF's not going to be on TV right now. MJF's already talking like he's going off. Like, and I was like, well, let me turn it on real quick and let me see what this is about, because people like, just from what I heard him say and what they were like, people were already hyped up about. I don't even really know what the first half of what he said was, but it was enough where people were tweeting about it where I'm like, well, let me go and turn it on. And like, that's what you want, especially if you're AEW, right? Like, you want people to like turn on the TV and just jump right into it. Like, wow, yeah, like this is what you want new people, new watchers to do, especially in a moment like that, and they're taking advantage of it.
Absolutely. So he came out, cut the music halfway through.
Mm.
He took off the scarf. It said his name. He didn't say MJF. He said, "This is Maxwell Friedman talking."
Mm-hmm.
And talked about basically being treated unfairly.
Mm-hmm.
See what are you talking about?
They said when he came down to the ring, he was being booed, and by the end of the promo,
yeah, he was being cheered because there was one specific line that got most people on his side. I'll talk about it. I know.
Okay.
Pretty sure you saw it.
I don't know that I did because I saw people kind of tweeting about this before I turned it on. Again, that's why I turned it on. So I'm curious to know what it was.
But it was toward the end, so
maybe I heard it, but
yeah. So I mean, he talked about how the fans are marks. Basically, he used some foul language. I can't say on here, but
some of it got bleeped out.
Yeah.
But right before during the break, I guess Fight TV had it uncensored and picked up what he said.
It's on Twitter. I retweeted.
Yeah,
someone tweeted.
I think that's what I had seen, and he used a couple words before, but he also called Tony Khan a mark.
He called him. He said he should be on the other side of the barricade. He also said he was the number 2, like most watched for
MJF
like minute ratings, which is true. Cornette, I think Jim Cornette always goes through like the segments of each show, and MJF is always like the top 2 next to CM Punk. So he told Tony Khan to check those stats or whatever. And then he basically said he doesn't want to wait till 2024, as you mentioned.
Doesn't want to wait till 2024.
And he basically said, maybe if I was an ex-WWE guy,
you would treat me better.
You would treat me better. And that's kind of the one that got the crowd into it.
Yes. Well, and then the other part of that was he said, like,
at the very end, yeah.
Well, because he said, oh, you got all these ex-WWE guys coming in. He said, what do I got to do to get treated better? Be an ex-WWE guy, which is almost like, do you want me to go to, and there had been kind of some talk for a little while, and maybe that's kind of, if this is a work, maybe that's why they're playing up on it, because there was the talk of him going to WWF or WWE, but I think he would be a good fit. Like, they can make him work.
I'm going to tell you, at this point, I think it's become a work.
Oh, I think it's a work.
The fact that talk like this now, they've come to some agreement.
They had to have, if they gave him the time that they did. Yeah, they cut off the mic. Yeah, he threw it down. That's all that they did with CM Punk too, right?
During the break.
That's what a pipe bomb is.
During the break, apparently CM Punk came out. And then MJF kind of went through the crowd. So I think there might be some type of feud continuing, because they did have one a few months back. So I mean, that might be the direction they're going. Point is, it got everyone talking, everyone's buzzing. Itchy, trending. He was also talking about the people in the back too. Kind of, we glanced over it, but saying, he doesn't do all that nonsense. He gets people into it by doing, good work. and called himself the best in the world. He said he's better than everyone else. Says,
and he has not been their champion yet.
he has not been any champion.
He hasn't been any champion. He's one of those guys who doesn't need it. But if I'm MJF, I'm also saying I want
I want the title.
Yeah,
I'm the top guy. That's basically what he said. That's
he's
what he
saying.
wants.
I'm too good for the title. That doesn't work.
He had the gimmick of the diamond. Yeah, the ring, which he had for like a year or two.
Yeah.
But it's not really, didn't really mean anything.
No, you need the belt.
Yeah,
and you need some guys. Like, I mean, you need some heels every once in a while. But do you think? Well, I thought it was funny because after, maybe we can get a little bit more into MJF if you have any thoughts. But he went on this whole thing about ex-WWE guys, and what happens next match? Miro versus Johnny Elite, formerly known as John Morrison and every other name, but
every other promotion name.
Yeah. So I guess Miro made, who was Rusev in WWE, made his return after some time away. But you have two ex-WWE guys in there, and I just thought that was
funny.
A little cherry on the top for what MJF was talking about. But this is what I was saying though. Like, this is like, it's all ex-WWE. It's starting to be all ex-WWE. Got Matt Hardy, Christian in a match, right? You have, and you're gonna have some of these guys, but then you have Athena, you have Bibbins,
you're pushing away you were, the guys that you signed,
and that's why I kind of wasn't surprised if MJF left, because that's what happened. You had Luger go, you had big names go. He stated at WWE.
He stated at the beginning of the promo, this used to be All Friends Wrestling, something Jim Cornette says too, which I thought was funny because he said some of the things Cornette says. But it's true. It was a bunch of different guys from the independent circuit.
Everyone knew everyone from somewhere, right?
Yeah, but they were still, their own guys. And there's a lot of people that could have been homegrown. And a lot of those people that started out with the company 3 years ago now, actually, aren't even on TV, if they're even there still.
Well, heck, the ex-WWE guys aren't there after a week. I mean, they're on TV after a week.
They're on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, who are some people that have left? Didn't the little dude leave?
Marco was
Marco left. There's some guys who just didn't get re-signed, right?
Stu Grayson, I believe, left. He was from the what's the name? The faction, the Brody faction. Oh my God.
Dark Order.
Dark Order. There you go. Obviously, Cody left. That's a big one.
Cody left.
That's a major one. And most other people have either been relegated to YouTube, or they're just not on TV at all or anywhere.
It's like we're at a point where you're getting like there's going to be some big names that are going to have to go onto the WWE side, because that's just the WCW WWE thing. That's just what happened.
Tony Khan's not willing to pay everyone.
I mean, he's going to let go of 3 or 4 guys to bring another guy in.
And apparently he's paying all these people a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
More money than MJF, according to MJF, which is insane.
Well, I could see that. But I mean, at the same time, it's kind of almost interesting that they are doing that, because like, what other options do they have? Like, not ROH anymore, but Impact,
New Japan, the indie circuit, I guess.
But that's what I'm saying though. It's kind of like you can get some of these dudes on the cheap, I would think.
I think he's paying them.
That's what I'm saying. But why?
Paying them a lot.
But why?
Because they're
like, you're paying Big Show, you're paying Mark Henry. Like, sure, maybe Mark Henry helped with the Owen Hart stuff and things like that. But it's just like, and they're great mentors, leaders in the back, I'm sure. But it's like,
you don't need all those people.
You got Jericho there with his third gimmick. No one getting the wizard over.
His third gimmick this week, I would say.
Yeah. He makes it work though. But again, he's always in a stable. But
Tony Khan was really defensive. Apparently, they had a 2-hour media scrum.
They always do after the LA one.
No, after the Double or Nothing,
after the
pay-per-view. After the long pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Someone was complaining about it, saying they didn't ask anything interesting.
No, it seemed like their usual crop of media that are fans of the product. So,
well, yeah, and they say Tony's like response to them is like, "Oh yeah, hey, like I was just on your podcast, like or whatever." You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, yeah, it's just
listen to the Jim Cornette reaction to the AEW media scrum.
okay. I didn't know he did anything to
It's
that.
great. He didn't listen to all of it, but he listened to.
Enough.
He played some clips.
Okay.
One clip specifically talking about Bischoff. I think I retweeted it. Did you see
heard
that?
about it.
Okay.
I heard about it. Yeah.
Listen to it. It's great.
I'll have to listen to it.
Insane. Anyways, so I think we covered most of it.
Covered most of it. Running into a break here in a minute.
Into the break. When we
Still
return,
got to talk about CM Punk.
We got to talk about Punk, I guess.
Just a little bit.
And then we got to talk about this thing. Someone got arrested.
Oh yeah,
someone got arrested. We got to talk about that. So
wait. Oh yeah, Rob, come up with a name after. I want to know who else you're gonna accuse.
When we return, we'll talk about that, all that and more right here on Beyond the Ropes. We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 88.1 FM, KKJZ, HD3, Long Beach, Los Angeles. Welcome back to episode 197 of Beyond the Ropes. I'm your host, Ethan, joined alongside the analyst, James Williams, and producer, Rob Flores. Let's talk about CM Punk, shall we?
Yeah, CM Punk. Rob actually had a stat earlier. I think I saw it on Twitter as well. CM Punk is now the first ECW, WWE, ROH, and AEW champion. The only guy to ever do it. Do you think it's a big deal, Ethan, or do you like? I'll say what I think, but do you think it's a big deal?
No,
I don't either. Tell me why.
Let's see. Ring of Honor was basically an independent promotion that most guys have gone through at this point. ECW is WWE CCW.
Yeah,
it's a different.
ECW it wasn't RVD Paul Heyman ECW.
And then you got WWE and AEW. Sure, those are fine.
And he's the only one who could have done that feat anyways. Practically. I mean, are any of those guys that have an ECW doing anything now? During that WWE ECW? Not really.
Big Show. Technically, Big Show's the only WCW, WWE. I feel like there's another stat.
Yeah.
ECW champion.
You say ECW, WCW, WWE.
He's, I think, the only one that did that too.
But that's what I'm saying. But it's like people are making out like, oh, historic moment for CM Punk.
AJ Styles, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, IWGP.
WWE was in WCW, but not long enough.
No. So there's different titles here.
But that's what I'm saying. But
where you put these titles.
That's what I'm saying. You could bunch any title any certain way to make it a historic thing for anything. And AEW hasn't had that many champions to begin with to start claiming anything. If anything, Jericho, maybe without he was in ECW. Maybe he won some titles in ECW.
TV title, probably.
Maybe. So he's probably the most, to do anything like that. Because I don't count the ECW. I'll count the ECW for, Matt Hardy, I guess, maybe. Now that he won. Yeah, he was a world champion, no?
He was the ECW champion. Never a WWE
Yeah, but he didn't get the other one. Jeff did, yeah. Okay. So.
It's a nice little feat, but.
It's a nice little feat, but it's not like. It's not like Grand Slam in WWE, even though that's all WWE, but. It's just different. Like I don't know. I think if you were gonna bring CM Punk in to AEW, you were gonna have to put the title on him, regardless. Like that was kind of had to have been part of it.
If he's the quote unquote most viewed or highest rating, highest rated segment every week, you kind of have to, right?
And does that go into your question? The segment you're telling me to watch for Jim Cornette with the media scrum, where someone asked Tony Khan, do you think it was a good financial move to have or
He-
to
he
have CM
listed-
Punk. Does Cornette call or no? Eric Bischoff.
He called him a financial flop.
Yes, and
I saw this kind of Twitter exchange because I follow both of them, or I follow Bischoff.
uh-huh.
So I kind of saw it.
So who was the exchange with? Bischoff and who?
I think it was a random person,
Okay.
and then CM Punk got involved.
Mm-hmm. And do Punk and Eric Bischoff have any heat or something? I know Bischoff was kind of dabbled
They
in.
do now.
Yeah, I know Eric Bischoff dabbled in AEW for a minute. That might have even been a little bit before Punk.
Yeah,
And he's been on WWE again since then.
Yeah, he's not. I don't think he's on best terms anymore. Not Bischoff. Tony Khan kind of went off on him. Go watch that segment. He kind of goes off on him.
I'll have to watch Tony's, but he was I did kind of watch him. He was like very defensive about it, and rattled off a bunch of stats. And CM Punk's like, yeah. So I mean, that's what you expect Tony Khan to do. I don't know if it's financial flop. I think it's like too early to say anything like that.
I think he's a good investment, but
I mean, he is if he can. Didn't you say he had botches, or was that Jeff? You said Jeff Hardy.
No,
you said
today.
him.
No, he
had
him today.
He was in a. Oh yeah, he was in a
six
man. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, CM Punk isn't who he was back then. I thought it was kind of touching in a way. Like CM Punk got emotional after winning the title. Like he was kind of in shock, which is kind of nice and kind of cool to see. And maybe for him, maybe you don't think you're ever going to get back to the pinnacle of that. Considering, you left, you go to UFC, you do your thing in that. That's a title maybe you should add in if you're trying to look for a way to kind of put CM Punk over with the champion, right? Well, no, he didn't win a championship in UFC. Never mind.
No, but
he lost his matches and he was in it, but regardless. But yeah, so I thought that was just kind of neat to get some sort of reaction from him and again, an emotional moment out of him. I'm blanking on the name of the guy he beat. Adam Page.
Yeah.
What do you think about him? What direction? I mean, is he still someone who will hang around the title picture, or like, do you care much about him? Does he do anything for you? I couldn't tell you much about him. I remember
he's
telling.
Good.
Yeah,
he's good. He was just booked extremely poorly
as the champion.
As the champion,
who did he beat?
Omega. He was Omega's tag partner.
Okay.
He was part of the Elite in Japan, Bullet Club. But he was kind of built as the future. And they just never haven't booked him well.
Yeah, he didn't do it.
And his title run was just not good. So people were happy, I think, to see him lose, which is a shame.
I was kind of almost surprised in a way that he did lose it, but at the same time, not because it was CM Punk.
Exactly.
So, kind of interesting.
Punk stated he would like to face Bryan Danielson in the immediate future, as well as guys like Tanahashi and Okada from New Japan. There is a Forbidden Door pay-per-view coming up.
Was he getting one of those guys? Didn't one of them come out today?
I think so.
One of them did. I just don't know the name to tell you who.
I think it was Tanahashi.
I think it was. Whose mannerisms were kind of off and it kind of really didn't do anything for me. But speaking of that, you mentioned their match real quick. It was a bunch of Bret Hart supporters, which I'm all for. Punk spoke highly about Bret before FTR. FTR has spoken highly of Bret. So I know Bret was probably pretty excited to see that match. What is that rapper's name? Max Caster or something?
Yeah.
His potty mouth. He mentioned Amber Heard, but he also mentioned Bret Hart and wasn't too fond of him after that, but it is what it is.
He took a photo. He was downtown LA at the Walk of Fame. He took a photo.
Oh yeah,
flipping off Vince's star, which
that's gonna bite him in the butt.
That's cute. Anyways, do you have numbers?
I do have numbers. We'll get into the numbers, and then I'm dying to know who got arrested. So we'll get to that in a minute. But first, yes, I do got the numbers for this past week's episodes of wrestling. We'll start off with AEW, just like we always do here on the show. When it comes to the numbers, the May 27th episode of Rampage, only 341,000. AEW Dynamite had 929,000. Now, the thing with that was on May 25th. And with that said, I know this episode that aired today as we're recording, June 1st, was on TBS, getting moved over from TNT, or is not on TNT at the moment. And yeah, the May 25th episode had 929,000. SmackDown for May 27th had 1.8, almost 1.9 million. NXT for May 24th had 551,000. And then you had Raw with 1.7 million for May 23rd. That's pretty close to the SmackDown number there. I'm kind of surprised how close they are now. What's going on? I'm trying to think what's going on Raw.
Well, the Tribal Chief wasn't on SmackDown.
He wasn't on SmackDown?
He was not.
Well,
much,
I mean,
much deserved break.
Yeah, but these SmackDown numbers are kind of the same as they always are. I'm talking about
Wasn't
Raw
there like
numbers.
an NBA finals were happening, weren't they?
I think that happened on Sunday.
Weren't there games? That was game 7, wasn't it? Or 6?
Yeah, it was on Sunday, I think.
There wasn't a game on Friday? I think there was.
There might have been on Friday, but what I'm saying is the SmackDown number was more or less still the same.
Okay, so
but the Raw number is 1.7. And remember, for the longest, it was hanging 1.3, 1.4.
Cody's bringing up those ratings. The ratings draw.
Maybe.
Seth freaking Rollins. Look at him.
Something.
Did you
They're
see
doing
his
something.
nice outfit?
I don't look at Rollins' outfit now.
Anyway, it's Hell in a Cell, by the way. It's happening.
Wait, who got arrested?
Well, I'm just going to quickly promote that we have a Twitter at RealBTR Radio. Just go see our predictions. Hell in a Cell will have happened by the time this is released. So next episode, we are going to discuss it. Kind of just didn't talk about anything relating to it, but that's okay. Go watch our Twitter at RealBTR Radio.
Yep.
Let's see. Rob has some predictions here. Al stole a mannequin head. Raven stole some Hot Topic merch.
I started to think these were real when he was posting them.
Dustin arrested for stealing gold makeup from Party City. Blue Meanie arrested stealing Smurf plushies. And Saturn Solo Mob. Well done.
I appreciate the creativity and then the quick.
Okay, all right. That's the last one. That's the last one.
I can respect it.
Former NXT superstar, and for a brief period AEW wrestler, because he did make an appearance.
Oh, who was this dude? I don't know, but I know I'm gonna be like,
we're kicking it off. June 1st, Pride Month. Jake Atlas.
Wow.
Jake Atlas was arrested May 23rd on a domestic violence charge after allegedly scratching his boyfriend during an argument.
Oh no.
Well, I think it would escalate to more than that. TMZ Sports reported Atlas and his boyfriend engaged in an encounter with a woman, personal encounter. And the wrestler became angry when his boyfriend paid more attention to the woman. He then allegedly tried to attack his boyfriend multiple times and ripped his shirt before police arrived. A judge put an order into place barring Atlas from having contact with the man. He was charged with a misdemeanor count of battery, which is domestic violence, and released under pretrial supervision. Atlas was allegedly uncooperative with the police when they arrived on the scene and refused to give officers his side of the story. Little background, the 28-year-old signed with WWE in 2019. He was obviously one of the most prominent publicly out wrestlers at the time. He was released in 2021 before signing with AEW in January. His debut appearance was January 7th. He suffered a knee injury that has kept him out of action. AEW has not commented on the arrest, but his name has been removed from the company's official roster. The person who he's in a relationship with has come out. Well, the name of the person has come out.
Is it somebody we know?
It is someone we know. Apparently, he was not publicly out of the closet, but his name is out there, so I'll mention it. It's NXT superstar Duke Hudson. He's the guy that was feuding with Cameron Grimes for a while. He's the one that with the Indy Hartwell thing, that relationship. He's like, yeah.
The one where I said, oh, they try to make him kiss or something.
Yeah, that's him.
Oh, Australian dude.
Yes, correct. So, apparently they've been together for a couple of years. So, and he was not publicly out, but I think like police reports and statements are out there now. So
that's tough.
Yeah. So,
and he's still with NXT.
He's still with NXT. He's there. So he's obviously not there tonight, I would assume, or last night. Because this did happen over the weekend, I guess. So, crazy stuff.
Interesting. Didn't know that. I wonder where they go. Wonder where there with that, but
make sure you're confident in your relationship before you do anything.
Yeah, before you go out. Yeah,
before you do anything with other people.
Or do something with other people.
Exactly, and don't abuse anyone. That's not cool.
Yeah, and again, we mentioned this. I think I've mentioned this like each week for the last 3 weeks. Put your guns away. Yeah. Don't need it.
Put everything. Violence. Enough. It's enough. Keep the violence in the ring when it's predetermined. It's
just icky and nasty, and we don't want that here. Not on the show, not in the world. We just want to make the world a better place, Ethan, for you and for me.
I think you just quoted a Michael Jackson song.
Yes, I did. That's my bop.
That's great. It's a hit. We should quote more MJ songs.
I would say I don't know many, but I know a few more. But
I guess Jake Atlas is a not so smooth criminal.
Yeah. I mean,
of course, I went in there, but it's all right.
You did force it in there, but if he just ripped his shirt, though.
Apparently, he tried to engage with him a couple of times. So let's see. He said he.
I mean, they wrestle for a living. Maybe
he allegedly tried to attack him multiple times. That's what it says here.
To be fair, I'm not defending him in any way. I'm just talking. But I've been playing WWE 2K, and they've been doing this all in story mode the whole time, attacking each other in the back for no reason. Like
dangerous backstage. That NXT parking lot is dangerous too.
It is. It's got a few people right having Undisputed Era attack.
People have gotten kidnapped back there.
I really have I haven't kept up with too much NXT lately. I forget Braun Breaker's even the champion still.
That's your guy. I thought you
that's my guy, but it's kind of like Harlan's not there. Like it's just kind of the whole thing.
Was he a guy too?
Not really, but he was made out.
You know who's my guy?
He was made out to be like Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, that was
the hype coming in.
That's the problem. That was the first issue right there.
What did you think of Max Dupree?
I was gonna say
who doesn't have anybody signed apparently.
Say it with me, James.
Max Dupree. Yeah,
there you go. Do that thing.
Yeah,
but he was backstage.
Dupree. He does
backstage.
that.
He did. He does kind of do that. Yeah, he's backstage. Like he's officially signed. Officially signed to SmackDown.
Yep.
So we're gonna start seeing him with scouting some talent.
But you said he had names, but he said he doesn't.
Well, not officially.
So where are you reading it? You read this somewhere?
These were leaked videos from the live crowd weeks ago. From the
when he
dark segments. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're going through with this, and it was
they're pushing forward with it. I don't know who's going to be in it. They might have gotten new people for all we know.
You said it was Mason who?
Apparently, I can't confirm the second name,
but wasn't it someone with an M?
It was your favorite guy, Mansoor.
Oh yeah, Mansoor. That's right. Because it's Triple M, right?
It's Triple M.
So if it's Max, Mace, and
Mansoor, they have to change those names.
I just don't. They'd have to change the names. It would be kind of a weird.
Just call him by his real name, Dio.
I just don't think that little faction or stable alone will get him over. Like I don't know if that's like low card.
They're gonna lose terribly to the Bloodline and the Judgment Day and the Bullet Club. Speaking
of which, where are we at with
we're getting the Judgment Day versus the Not So Bullet Club at Hell in a Cell.
But are they adding anybody? Like, because they claim there's really more people coming. Edge teased somebody out. Who did he?
Edge was out there. Edge
Well,
was not there
Edge teased
Monday.
Asuka.
He's been teasing everyone on the roster.
Yeah, Paige and whatnot. Yeah.
You follow him on Instagram. He's
Mhm.
posting everybody on Twitter. But no, I'm sure we might see someone new at Hell in a Cell.
Mhm.
If you know,
Maybe.
So
Maybe it's Kane.
maybe it's Kane, indeed. But until next time, we're going to talk about Hell in a Cell.
Mhm.
But this episode has been absolutely too sweet.